Say you're making lots and lots of phone calls and you're connecting and having great conversations with people, but you're not ending up going on a lot of appointments. What might you be missing?
I love this question. I also love an agent who is doing the activities necessary, so making the phone calls, right? However, we talk about this all the time. If you make 1,000 phone calls and you don't set any appointments, it's not worth your time.
No.
It's just a waste of time. What is typically happening with somebody who makes a lot of phone calls but doesn't set any appointments is they're not asking the right questions, and they're typically not asking for the appointment itself. So they're not being direct enough. They are not being intentional enough. They're having more just conversations with people versus being intentional about making an appointment.
What would be an example of a question that would lead them to that path towards an appointment?
Well, it depends on, the lead source and the conversation itself, but let's just say it's a seller in general. I would be asking to come by the home when it's convenient, 15 to 20 minutes to take a walkthrough of the home and be able to put eyes on the property before I can really talk about what the house is worth. If it's a buyer and they're interested in a property, it's very specifically asking something like, hey Liz, I see you're interested in 123 Banana Street. When can I set up that appointment for you?
What if you're setting lots of appointments, but you're not actually ending up meeting with a ton of people? Mostly what I'm talking about here is the proverbial, I've been ghosted. I showed up at the showing that we set up and there was no buyer there and I never heard from them again. What can you do proactively to prevent that from happening?
If somebody is making appointments but then they're getting ghosted, right? The absolute worst. They're probably not making the right type of appointments. They're probably not getting the right type of clients, and or the client is just trying to get them off the phone as fast as possible because they feel like they're being sold something. The other thing that we see is when you make appointments too far in advance, so a week from now, too much time goes by where the buyer or the seller or just the client in general might lose interest in the original inquiry in the first place. So if you're going to make an appointment, make it within 48 hours and go through several steps to confirm that appointment with them before you actually show up.
Right.
The other thing is that we're telling all of our realtors is be impressive. Be somebody that makes the other person want to show up. No one wants to set an appointment and then not hear from the person until they actually get to the house. What we're telling our realtors to do is take several steps between the phone call and the appointment to confirm it, to humanize it, and to make sure that person's really going to show up.
Would you recommend video as a way to help humanize yourself when you're reminding them?
We love video for one specific reason. It humanizes it. Again, like in a world where we're getting sold everything, where we get spam text messages, millions of emails, and random phone calls calling us all day, consumers and their level of sales skepticism is at an all-time high. And I think it's going to continue to get even worse.
Yeah.
So with video, what it shows is, hey, I'm a hardworking person, I'm a real person, I'm friendly, and by the way, let's put a face to a name, or at least a voice, because we just got off the phone with each other. And what it does is it makes the person on the other line feel more obligated to actually treat you like a real person.
Yeah.
Which means if they have a conscience, like, hey Liz, you know what, actually we're not interested in that property, we're not going to meet you. At least you just saved your time.
Yeah. Awesome tip I heard this morning from one of our agents, Jennifer Casanova. She said every single time she goes on a showing, she sends a video text from her car as she's leaving her driveway. She just says, hey Parker, I'm leaving my house now. I'm on my way to our showing at 123 Banana Street. I'm excited to see you then. She said either that prompts a response that is, hey, yeah, I'm so excited, or it prompts them to say, oh shoot, I totally forgot, I can't make it. Either way, it ends up being a good connection for her, or it stops her from wasting some time. But I thought that was a really great idea.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about as well. It puts a human element into the conversation, and it takes a real crappy person to want to just blow someone off or waste their time in general.